the way things are going, it will be difficult. Now, to your question, if we could find some understanding about the next steps before October or before the tariffs are set to go up, then that could be a good signal for a deal before December.
And which side, according to your observation, is more eager to have a quicker deal? Maybe make some major compromises in the days ahead.
What we're hearing from both sides is we're not in a hurry. I hope that is just rhetoric, and I hope that both sides understand how important it is to have some kind of a deal. It will not be a deal for 100 years or for 50 years, perhaps a deal for our time or for the next decade, because technology will advance, technology will change. The issues that we have will change also.
And according to this U.S.China Business Council report, 87% of American companies decide to stay despite pressure from Washington. Are you surprised about the results? And in the meantime, what should they be concerned when they are continuing their business in China?
I agree that most companies, or in fact all companies I speak with, are here because they have a good business. The companies decide individually whether they want to be in China or not, and they would like to stay in China, and they would like to grow in China because it's good for their shareholders and it's good for their company, for their business. I think from that regard, the private sector has been caught in the middle of this, and relationships are being affected. Relationships with Chinese companies, relationships with the Chinese government, and companies are stuck.
But they're losing market share here in China.
They are losing market share. I agree with that. I don't know how much in the short term, but if things persist, because China has raised tariffs on U.S. imports, China has also reduced tariffs for the rest of the world. So U.S. products are at a disadvantage in the short term. Now, long term, 5-10 years from now, can they recover their market share? I think that is a thought that is being discussed in a lot of boardrooms around the world and around the U.S.
So do you see any improvements in terms of intellectual property protection, in terms of market transparency in China that can actually persuade those China hawks to lower their demand or to back down a little bit?
Companies know whether they're being pressured. The important thing is whether companies are willing to say that, because there's so much tension on both sides that I'm not sure that companies feel safe in getting in the middle of this fight among two giants. Having different regulations for technology in different countries, China and the U.S., I think will hurt the world, because we don't then give the world the benefit of scale. So if we could come to an agreement about how we want the future to look in 2030, 2025, let's say China-U.S. 2025, and work together on designing a future, I think that would be an incredibly positive step forward.